understands well how vital the Coast Guard is to our economic, our environmental, and our national security, and how central you are to our Homeland Security mission. Admiral Schultz, congratulations on an outstanding new Corps of officers. This past year, there can be no doubt the Class of 21 is ready for whatever its mission may be. I know this day is doubly important to Admiral because he's not only the Commandant of the Coast Guard. Well, let me say it another way. In 2013, I think I gave the commencement here, and I was pointing out how the Coast Guard was adapting so rapidly to changing conditions. And I said, this is not your father's Coast Guard. I take that back. First Class Eric Schultz, this is your father's Coast Guard. And I know it probably embarrasses me to point you out and say that, but I had a son in the United States military. He was very proud. He was a Major U.S. Army, won the Bronze Star, anyway. And when he went to Iraq for a year, he got the general to agree to change his name from Biden to Hunter, his mother's maiden name, because he didn't want to be viewed as having gotten any favors. Admiral Kelly, I want to thank you and the entire staff of the Academy for your commitment in training the next generation of leaders. And I brought with me a former Academy grad who now serves as my Coast Guard Millet, Lieutenant Commander Jana, now I'm going to embarrass her, Jana McCrone of the class of 2007. As we were coming in Marine One, I thought she was going to light up like a candle. She's so excited being back here. She's an outstanding reflection of this institution. And Admiral Kelly, I want to congratulate all of you on everything you've done this year to keep this school open and running and to be as safe as it possibly can and could be in the middle of a pandemic. You know, the instructors, the cadets, the cafeteria, the support staff, public works, the campus safety team, the science department, the medical staff, the morale, well-being, and recreation team, everyone went above and beyond the normal call of duty to try to make it work, and you did. And I hear that Mrs. Paula Springer's cookies for cadets were particularly a boost in morale. And what you all achieved together embodies the Coast Guard creed: always ready, always ready. I want to thank you. Cadet Seiler, for speaking on behalf of your class, and congratulations on earning the honor of being the Class of 21's distinguished graduate. But most importantly, I want to thank your parents and families for everything they have done to support you and all of you. And and those watching online as well. There's not all can be here. You've raised these cadets to be fierce patriots, as well as young people of incredible courage and determination. You are the ones who first installed in them the sense of service, who helped them hear the calling of higher duty. So it's your day, too. Cadets, stand up, turn around, and salute your parents. Get up, 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 up. I tell you what, and all those parents watching on television, you raised a fine, fine, fine group of women and men. Cadets, you knew when you chose the Academy you were choosing a more difficult path than some of your high school classmates. You were signing up for the honor of service and the additional responsibilities that go with it. But I hope today you take the time to reflect on how much all the hard work and extra effort you engaged in was worth. And I hope that you take immense pride in all that time at the Academy and all the Academy has given to you, because you've achieved something few others can claim. You survived our day and billet night. You made it through swab summer. You got a haircut that showed every damn bump in your head. You learned to square the corners and square your medals. Look, your meals, I should say. And you memorized, and this is the part I found would have been hard, memorize running lightning. I'm going to ask you all to stand up and repeat it. No, I'm only kidding. You earn your shoulder boards and your agulettes. You pass through 100th week and maybe spend a little too much time at the slice. You can clap. Come on, man, you're moving on. Show a little courage. And like all the students across the country, you had to figure out what it meant to finish your second year class with virtual instruction. The pandemic upended so much of our lives, as was mentioned several times so far. Last year's graduating class didn't get to have this ceremony in person. But the Coasties fashion that you all have, you met the threat head on. You adapted, showed your resilience, and you led. The class of 21, you were the ones to test and improve the restricted movements protocols that allowed you to return to class on campus. And with careful precautions and regular testing, you were able to go back to your lives and training here in New London to conduct your first year class in person. It certainly looked and felt different, I'm sure, but you found ways. You found ways to keep many of the Academy's traditions alive and maybe even formed a few new ones. You still were able to bring your cars on campus. You just weren't allowed to go anywhere in those cars. Oh, man, I tell you what, I'd have trouble watching my car sit there. But maybe dipping your ring in Crown Park or having your ring dance outside will be a new standard. The Super Bowl of intercompany sports may become an annual event. And by the way, congratulations to the Bravo Company, by the way, for your victory. You can clap, it's okay. Even if you lost, you got to clap. And though everything you found through it all, you found ways to excel in the classroom and in athletics. You've got 9 All-Americans in your ranks today, including record setter in the track and field 5,000 meters. And most importantly, you had each other's backs. When times got hard, you were there for one another. That's something you all learn quickly at the Academy. You can't crew the tall ship Eagle without working together. It's not possible. So the pandemic didn't change that, but it made it more important. I know we wish more of your loved ones could be here today to celebrate with you in person, packed into the stands for your big day, especially because so many of you come from families of proud traditions of service. First class Rachel Pache is about to become the 3rd generation Academy grad. Meanwhile, first class Jacqueline Tidd bucked a long tradition in her family, joined the Coast Guard, came to the Coast Guard Academy over the Naval Academy, and unlike her mother, father, uncle, and grandfather. Well, Cadet Tidd, there's a seat on Air Force One if you have to get home. It may be tough. I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war. You're a really dull class. I mean, come on, man. Is the sun getting to you? I would think you'd have an opportunity when I say that about the Navy to clap, but being here together. But all kidding aside, being here together is a victory in and of itself, an important marker in the progress we've made to turn the tide of this pandemic. It's a testament to the skill and military discipline, sense of responsibility you already embody. So there's no doubt in my mind that the 140th graduating class of the United States Coast Guard Academy will reflect the very best of our country and the proudest positions of our service. Look, in just a few minutes, you will be ensigns in the U.S. Coast Guard. But the only anchor cadet is the only one going home with $240 in his pocket. And before I go much further, as your commander-in-chief, I've been looking forward to being able to do this for a long time. I want to keep a long-standing tradition here it goes. I hereby absolve all those serving restrictions of minor infractions absolved. Now, you have no idea how much I wish I'd have been able to do that at my graduation. At my graduation. From the University of Delaware. Because I need, as we say in my faith, I needed absolution. You all think I'm kidding, I'm not. Minor infractions like using a fire extinguisher to hose down an RA, but other than that, nothing much. Look, cadets, today you're joining a chain of service that links each of you to our history. It's a connection to the very earliest days of our nation as part of this country's oldest continuous seagoing service. But no class gets to choose the world into which it graduates. And demands and the challenges you're going to face in your career are going to look very different than those who walked these halls before you. You chose, as a class motto, reflects this reality. You said, "We are the future." I don't think you have any idea how profound that assertion is. The world is changing. We're at a significant inflection point in world history. And our country and the world, the United States of America, has always been able to chart the future in times of great change. We've been able to consistently renew ourselves. And time and again, we've proven there's not a single thing we cannot do as a nation when we do it together. And I mean that, not a single solitary thing. And this is particularly important in this moment of accelerating global challenges, hybrid threats that don't stop at our border. We have to meet them on the land and the sea, wherever we find them. And that's where the Coast Guard excels. Pandemic response would not necessarily have been considered a Coast Guard mission until there were more than 250,000 stranded cruise passengers who needed to be safely disembarked during COVID-19. Now we see with harrowing clarity how important halting this pandemic and improving our ability to prevent and respond to the next one is on our national security. That's why 500 Coast Guard reservists have deployed in support of FEMA and other nationwide vaccination efforts. Disaster response has long been part of the Coast Guard's mission, but with the pace of climate change accelerating, we're seeing more frequent and more intense storms that call for you to respond. Last year was the most active hurricane season on record, 30 named storms. And the Coast Guard was always there to respond, even at the height of the pandemic. But you've also been a part of our response to wildfires in the West, record flooding in the heart of the country. And these patterns are only going to get worse if we fail to take immediate and ambitious actions on climate. Whether it's interdicting illicit drug shipments at sea before they enter the United States, or your stewardship of the environment, the Coast Guard has always recognized the broader definition of our national security. Alexander Hamilton may have been among the first to champion the principle that economic security is national security when he created the Revenue Cutter Service. But if it was true in 1790, it's gospel in 2021. The best way to meet the wide array of threats we face today is by investing in America's enduring advantages and ensure that we're operating from a position of strength. Our economic vitality at home, our ability to trade with the world is essential to that strength. More than 1/4 of the U.S. GDP is transported through the waters to keep us safe, And we're going to increasingly see our skills called upon internationally as well. For decades, the United States has underwritten international maritime security. We and our partners have kept the sea lanes open and secure. We developed clear rules of the road. Behavior is in bounds, important, out of bounds for other nations, to ensure that we can share peacefully in the natural bounty of the sea. And for decades, those rules supported global economic strength that benefited nations everywhere and helped people around the world develop their economic potential. But as you know, increasingly, we're seeing those rules challenged, both by the rapid advance of technology and the disruptive actions of nations like China and Russia, with whom I've had direct discussions of this with President Xi as well as President Putin. Long-standing basic maritime principles like freedom of navigation are a bedrock of global economic and global security. When nations try to game the system or tip the rules in their favor, it throws everything off balance. That's why we are so adamant that these areas of the world that are the arteries of trade and shipping remain peaceful, whether that's the South China Sea, the Arabian Gulf, and increasingly the Arctic. It's of vital interest to America's foreign policy to secure unimpeded flow of global commerce. And it won't happen without us taking an active role to set the norms of conduct, to shape them around democratic values, not those of autocrats. That's why we'll continue to support the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas, which outlines many of the key principles to ensure that our waters of our planet are not exploited by any one nation, but are preserved for the benefit of all. But they're being challenged now, all of it. So as we work together with our democratic partners around the world, to both update the rules for this new age, to hold all of us accountable to living up to those rules, your mission will become even more global and even more important. You have an essential role in our efforts to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific. Our new agreement for the Coast Guard to partner with Taiwan will help ensure that we're positioned to better respond to shared threats in the region and to conduct coordinated humanitarian and environmental missions. The U.S. Coast Guard partnership with nations throughout the region to take on issues like illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing are essential to building the muscle of cooperation. When distant water fishing fleets travel thousands of miles to strip maritime resources without regard to catch regulations or internationally established economic zones, it hurts everyone. Which is why we sent the U.S. Coast Guard, Qatar, Berdoff, to partner with Ecuador last summer to disrupt and deter a Chinese distant water fleet operating near the Galapagos Islands. We're fielding requests from other nations all across the Indo-Pacific that are eager to partner with our Coast Guard because of your reputation of professionalism and your unrivaled skill. The Coast Guard will be an increasingly central element in our engagement in the Indo-Pacific to protect lives, to preserve the environment, to safeguard sovereignty throughout the region. In the Arabian Gulf, we're in the process of deploying 6 new fast response cutters to update Patrol Force Southwest Asia. The Coast Guard's expertise is helping our partners in the region to enforce maritime law and perform search and seizure operations. I'm sure you all saw the pictures of the enormous load of illicit weapons confiscated in the Arabian Sea, all laid out across the rear deck of the USS Monterey. Coast Guard was critical to that seizure and to keeping those weapons out of conflict in the region. Based alongside the U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, you have to face down harassment of Iranian fast attack boats in recent weeks. And in recent weeks, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Maui had to fire 30 warning shots to deter such irresponsible and unsafe maneuvers in the region. The world is changing. We need you even more And in the Arctic, the Coast Guard is a proud American presence in the region, rapidly growing in strategic importance as ice recedes and new sea lanes open. We, the United States, are an Arctic nation. The United States must demonstrate our leadership and engagement. Our diplomacy and our operational skill. We must continue to model responsible maritime behavior and uphold clear rules of international agreements that will protect and steward this pristine environment and secure it for future generations. And by the way, as you know by now, to protect our homeland security as well. We have to make sure that every country respects these international norms. So we need modern icebreakers, yes. But just as critically, we need to stand shoulder to shoulder with those allies and partners who share our values, including indigenous communities who are the keepers of traditional knowledge about the Arctic waters. Class of 2021, it's time for you to go out and be the future, to make the future. You've learned your history and your science. You've predicted and practiced your disciplines on land and sea. You've shown that you are salty. This year, the Academy has graduated a class that is just over 1/3 women. And those, you got it. I was telling the Commandant, I just appointed 3 women as combatant commanders around the world. And those numbers are going up year by year. As I said, I recently nominated Vice Admiral Linda Fagan. Class of '85 in the Coast Guard is the first female 4-star admiral. We need to see more women at the highest levels of command. We have to make sure that women have the chance to succeed and thrive throughout their careers. There's a saying we use in a different context, a Chinese saying. It says, women hold up half the world. It's an absolutely stupid position not to make sure they represent at least half of what we do. Every member of our armed forces should feel safe and respected in the ranks. That's why my administration is committed to taking on the scourge of sexual assault and harassment in the military. You're joining a service that not only serves as America's front line, it increasingly looks like America. This year's class is also just over 1/3 underrepresented minorities, including some of the highest number of African Americans, Asian Americans, and Pacific Islanders. Each of you will be asked to lead people who come from different backgrounds. Your challenge as a leader is to treat every single person with equal dignity and respect and find ways to unlock everyone's talent. You know, you've already done some important work as a class, including with a class-wide equity walk and discussion groups in the wake of George Floyd's murder. Our national successes depend on our capacity to harness the full range of ideas and experience that exists in our country and deliver on the promise of the American dream for all America. You know, America's unique. America's the only country in the world that's founded on an idea. You can define every other country in the world based on ethnicity or geography. We're the only one based on an idea, not a joke. The idea was, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We hear it all the time, but it's who we are. We can't be different than attempting to continue to have that arc move toward justice. With this generation of graduates, of new ensigns in the United States Coast Guard, who have volunteered to serve our country, I've never been more optimistic about our future. You understand in your bones that our diversity is one of the enduring advantages and inherent strengths to America. In your careers, you're going to face challenges you can't predict. You'll be asked to lead in ways and navigate new paths. But when the storms gather or the seas of life grow rough, remember the Coast Guard's marching song to sing on land and sea. Through surf and storm, howling gale, high shall your purpose be. The class of 2021, you have it all. You really do. And we need you badly. And that's not hyperbole. The country needs you. Press always asks me why I'm so optimistic about America's chances in the world. And I've said from the time I decided to run, because of this generation, you're the most progressive, best educated, least prejudiced, most open generation in American history. We need you badly. You're ready. It's time to get underway. God protect you all as you set out on your journey, and may God protect all those who wear the uniform of the United States of America. God bless America. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Academy, thank you, Mr. President, for being here with us today and honoring the Academy and the Coast Guard with your presence. I would like to now present the United States Coast Guard Band, conducted by Commander Adam Williamson, who will perform a medley of service marches. All past and present members of the military are invited to stand and sing as the band plays their respective anthem. Thank you, Commander Williamson and the members of the Coast Guard Band. At this time, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Kurt Colella, Dean of Academics, who will present the candidates for degrees.
Mr. President, Governor Lamont, Secretary Mayorkas, Admiral Schultz, Rear Admiral Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please rise? Admiral Kelly, as Dean of Academics, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science. They have been examined and approved by the faculty.
Dean Colella, thank you first and foremost for your 40 years of dedicated service to our nation. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science and admit you to all its rights and privileges. Congratulations, class of 2021. Well done.
Class of 2021, please be seated. I am now pleased to introduce Captain Arthur Ray, the United States Coast Guard Academy's 37th Commandant of Cadets, who will present the candidates for commissioning as ensigns in the United States Coast Guard.
President Biden, Governor Lamont, Secretary Mayorkas, Admiral Schultz, Rear Admiral Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, members of the class of 2021, good afternoon. Admiral Schultz, as Commandant of Cadets, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for commission of ensign in the United States Coast Guard. They have met all military requirements and have successfully demonstrated competency as leaders of character in the Academy's 200-week leader development program. At this time, I invite you to administer the oath of office to those being commissioned in the United States Coast Guard, sir.
Well, thank you, Captain Ray. And to those members of the class of 2021 being commissioned in the United States Coast Guard today, please rise. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. Having been appointed to the grade of ensign in the United States Coast Guard, I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. You may lower your right hand. Congratulations, ensigns. Welcome to the Officer Corps.
Ensigns, please be seated. Thank you, Admiral Schultz. We will now present the graduating class with their diplomas and commissions. As each graduate approaches the platform today, she or he is being presented with a challenge coin by the Coast Guard Academy Alumni Association. Presenting the gift will be Captain Andrea Marcial, U.S. Coast Guard retired, and the class of 2021's link in the chain representative, Mr. Stephen DeCesare, Coast Guard Academy, class of 1971. The degrees of Bachelor of Science will be presented by the Superintendent, Rear Admiral Bill Kelly. Commissions as ensigns in the U.S. Coast Guard will be presented by our Commander-in-Chief, President Joseph R. Biden, Jr. The Commandant of Cadets, Captain Arthur Ray, will announce the names, major, and unit to which each new ensign is assigned.
Since its founding in 1876, the United States Coast Guard Academy has graduated leaders of character in service to our nation. Out of respect for each graduate, please hold all sounds of acknowledgement and applause until the last graduate has crossed the stage. At this time, we'll give them the thunderous round of applause they so richly deserve. Mateo X. Acuna, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Reliance. Joseph Francis Adace, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac. Jacob Harmon Aloisi, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Joseph Doyle. Seth Jacob Anderson, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Mohawk. Thomas Jonathan Ankers, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter James. Sydney Victoria Aaron, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Robert Irid. Luke David Arsenal, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Basic Flight School. Daisy Ann Lasaka Atian, Management Major, Philippine Coast Guard. Michael Joseph Axelson, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineer Major, Coast Guard Cutter Polar Star. Kylie Michelle Ballard, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Bernard C. Weber. Selena Marie Vance, Electrical Engineering Major, Postgraduate School, Fulbright Scholar, Tampere University, Finland. John Stewart Barber, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Weishi. Jennison Kagaranyan Basilio, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Philippine Coast Guard. Diane Shaira Lasanyan Boswell, Management Major, Philippine Coast Guard. Cole Joseph Basherman, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Decisive. Cody Ryan Bellamy, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Vigorous. Alexander Noel Bellin, Electrical Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Jason Bailey Balone, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Tahoma. Emily Karen Benson, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major. Eric Coburn Bertolitis, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Eugene John Bitzer, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Decisive. Murray Hunter Blankenship, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Northland. Benjamin John Bulldog, Mechanical Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Kyle Peter Boria, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Tampa. Peyton Joseph Bowler, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Bear. Bridget Arnett Boyle, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Bertolf. Charlotte Claire Raymond, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Schneider. Chancey Maurice Brown, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Frederick Hatch. Parker Timothy Broncola, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Seneca. Maxwell Calvin Buchanan, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Alex Haley. Mary Elizabeth Boudry, Operations Research and Community Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter, Venturous. Stephanie Lynn Burkhardt, Civil Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Bertolf. Mitchell Xavier Burris Otero, Manager Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Donald Horsley. Liam Scott Caro, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Dauntless. Jackson Tygart Carpenter, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Valiant. Hayden Rosario Carter, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Decisive. Abigail Rose Casey, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Fur. Ryan Michael Casey, Manager Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Northland. Lucas Price Caskey, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, James. Jacob Patrick Cheeseman, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Basic Flight School. Robert Luke Childress, Manager Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Escanaba. Essler Onhei Cho, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Midget. Duncan Gray Clark, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Bailey Barco. Tyler Lee Clemmer, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Oliver Henry. Colby Kirby Coco, Manager Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Nathan Bruckenthal. Joseph Herbert Collins, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Mackinac. Anthony Vincent Contreras, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Raymond Evans. Drusilla June Corbett, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Polar Star. Thomas Paul Castaigne II, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Thetis. Jonathan Trent Cox, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Richard Snyder. Jake Lee Danzer, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Midget. Josiah Lee Davis, Government Major, Postgraduate School, Florida A&M University. Marietta Margaret Davis, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Resolute. Mary Catherine Decker, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac. Jeffrey Marshak Gloria, Marine Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Steadfast. Jacob Andrew Dennis, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Confidence. Robert Edward Doherty, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Healy. Rebecca Celeste Dolan, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Active. Marco Antonio Dominguez II, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Stratton. Tyler Gerald Dominic, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Tahoma. Dylan James Donahue, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Stone. Catherine Lynn Doty, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Jake Francis Duffy, a Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Ford. Linda Ivanova Duncan, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Bristol Bay. Ryan Alexander Dunkel, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Healy. Quinn Elizabeth Epke, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Dependable. Rachel Claire Everson, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Diligence. Kyle Jamison Fager, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Bertzoff. Alexandro Navitidad Fajardo, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Alex Haley. Annabella Monroe Faribault, Marine and Environmental Sciences major, Coast Guard cutter, Mohawk. Brenna Claire Farrington, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Kathleen Moore. Zachary Allen Fedak, Mechanical Engineering Major, Marine Safety Unit, HOMA. Craig Thomas Feeney, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Diligence. Hannah Maria Fernandez, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard cutter, James. Aiden Michael Fierst, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Dauntless. John David Fitzpatrick, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard cutter, Sycamore. Wishwa Fonseca, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Sri Lankan Coast Guard. Dylan Sterling Franks, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard cutter, Stratton. Theodore George Vincent Frisk, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Hickory. Eric Whitmore Foos, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard cutter, James. Alex Lewis Funches, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard cutter, Harriet Lane. Catherine Grace Galloway, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Walnut. Christopher Ryan Gardner, Government Major, Coast Guard cutter, Seneca. Justin Alexander Gardner, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Dependable. Madison McCain Garvin, Government Major, Coast Guard cutter, Margaret Norville. Owen David Gates, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Laguerre. Ethan Armour Gertson, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard cutter, Stone. Michael Stephen Gilmore II, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Decisive. Benjamin Bruce Glass-Hagel, electrical engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter Joseph Gersak. Mary Ellis Goins, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Stone. Jonas Farai Gordon, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Vigorous. Odell Marquise Graham, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Jacob Peru. Patrick Joseph Gravlick, Management Major, Basic Flight School. Noelle Grace Greenwood, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter James. Sabrina Rose Hackett, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Richard Etheridge. James David Hall, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Valiant. Cassandra Joy Hamer, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Bear. Justin Sujin Han, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Marine Safety Unit, Morgan City. Thomas John Hardy, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Alert. Bonnie Joy Hartman, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Bertolf. Malia Elizabeth Haskovic, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Monroe. Miguel Angel Hernandez, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Joseph Tazanos. Veronica Carol Hine, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Sycamore. Erin Rebecca Holland, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac. Andre Kenta Horner, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Midget. Jason Santino Hool, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Benjamin Bottoms. Haley Elizabeth Howard, Civil Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Mateus Patrick Hulk, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Basic Flight School. Mia Alexandra Honcherik, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Owen Henry Hurley, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Stratton. William Paul Iorio, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Campbell. Daniel Curtis Jenkins, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Benjamin Daly. Nazir Christian Jones, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Robert Ward. Frank Augustus Jocelyn, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Thetis. Madeline Mackenzie Kaler, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Stone. Alexander Kioson Kang, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Escanaba. Kristen Lillian Kelly, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Bristol Bay. Anna Lily Kimball Cook, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Rollin Fritsch. Matthew Edward Curse, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Vigorous. John Anthony Kimmeth, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Stratton. Thomas William Plowinski, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Otney Sharon Golongian, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, John McCormick. Samantha Grace Koval, Manager Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Oak. Charlie Elizabeth Creyas, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Sector, Miami. Isaac Allen Lalonde, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Elm. Will Thomas Landry, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Steadfast. Christopher George Lansing, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Hamilton. Juliana Linover, Mechanical Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Joseph Dwayne Leonard, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Lawrence Lawson. Haley Carol Lewis, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Midget. Jordan Nathaniel Lindsay, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Sector, New York. Felicia Maria Lombardi, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Kimball. Catherine Nicole Long, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, William Hart. Cole Catherine Lord, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Sector, Puget Sound. Zachary Martin Lukasik, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Valiant. Graham Evan Luongo, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Confidence. Jacqueline Raquel Marr, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Basic Flight School. Jenna Ann Manning, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, William Hart. Aaron Molili Martin, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Bertolf. Connor James Mason, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Willow. Alexander Joseph Mastel, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Stratton. Haley Marie McHugh, Electrical Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Graham Ronwin McGill, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Midget. Jesse Dalton McKnight, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Harriet Lane. Ryan Wilson McNary, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Alert. John Tobin McNiff, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Roy Edward Melvin, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Ford. Peter Edward McCauley, Jr., Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Reliance. Heather Ashley Miller, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard cutter, Vigilant. Justin Michael Moffitt, Government Major, Coast Guard cutter, Spar. Samuel Anthony Monaco, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Coast Guard cutter, Dauntless. Caitlin Amanda Mooney, Management Major, Postgraduate School, Rutgers University. Kyle William Morley, Government Major, Coast Guard cutter, Bear. James Duncan Morrison, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Kimball. Patrick Kelly Monahan, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Tahoma. Chase Elise Murphy, Management Major, Coast Guard Marine Safety Unit, Portland. Lauren Ayana Morrow, Government Major, Basic Flight School. Christina Kim Wynn, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Seneca. Eric Joseph Dinoco Noble, Government Major, Philippine Coast Guard. Christina Marie Nothatcher, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, Charles Sexton. Megan Elizabeth O'Brien, Management Major, Coast Guard cutter, John McCormick. Sean Edward O'Connor, Mechanical Engineering Major, Coast Guard cutter, Daniel Tarr. Richard Paul O'Leary, the third, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard cutter, active. Joshua Albert Ordonez, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Basic Flight School. Philip Michael Orlando, Electrical Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Stone. Kazuki Oshiro, Mechanical Engineering major, Coast Guard Sector, Mobile. Jackson Clark Autoberg, Management major, Coast Guard Cutter, Venturous. Noah William Pagaputan, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Resolute. Stephen Bradley Flores, Pangolinan, Management major, Coast Guard Cutter, Myrtle, Hazard. Jordan Carolyn Park, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter, Juniper. Rochelle Ann Saga Paroka, Management major, Coast Guard Cutter, Valiant. Sarah Lynn Pasila, Mechanical Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Steadfast. Jessup Ethan Powalczyk, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Vigilant. Matthew Alexander Polisic, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter, Elm. Daniel Joseph Beliebler, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Laguerre. Daniel Christopher Phillips, Government major, Coast Guard Cutter, Laguerre. Rachel Elizabeth Perche, Electrical Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter, Aspen. Matthew DePaul Pendle, Government major, Coast Guard Cutter, Midget. Justin Alexander Radcliffe, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter, Tahoma. Nathaniel Joseph Ralph, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Basic Flight School. Catherine Elizabeth Rentz, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter, Isaac Mayo. Maeve Catherine Roach, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Dominic Vincent Roberts, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Senable. Dylan Wesley Roberts, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Angela McShann. Sabrina Kenzie Robertson, Civil Engineering Major, Basic Flight School. Trenton Elon Robledo Thomas, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Joseph Tozanos. Joshua Michael Romano, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Hamilton. Philip Victor Torres Romero, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Edgar Culbertson. Christopher Creighton Rosello, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Dependable. Connor David Rowing, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Forward. Leilani Joy Salang, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Kemble. Luisa Bernardi Santos, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, active. Katie Lee Scavo, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Kimball. Eric Carl Schultz, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Dependable. Aaron Caroline Schultz, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Forward. Marshall Jacob Seguin, Operations Research and Community Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Monroe. William John Sergio, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Escanaba. Aduli Raylan Sievers, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Mackinac. Sean Edward Seidler, Government Major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Thomas Allen Seidner III, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Tampa. Emmy Nicole Seidler, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Healy. Oliver Dean Simon, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Oliver Berry. Emma Grace Sims, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Kemble. Nathaniel Stephen Skarbach, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Weishi. Gunner Michael Smith, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cutter Monroe. Henry William Smith, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Hollyhock. Faith Noel Snow, Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Harold Miller. Mark Anthony Sporay, Jr., Marine and Environmental Sciences Major, Coast Guard Cutter Hamilton. Santhros Sajansi, Management Major, Georgian Coast Guard. Kennedy Miela Starks, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Humberto Hernandez. Justin Coverdale Steiner, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Zachary Reed Stone, Management Major, Coast Guard Cutter Escanaba. David Seth Strayer, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Sector Houston, Galveston. Nicholas Andrew Zepp, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Northland. Daniel Joseph Taglinetti, Management Major, Basic Flight School. Grace Fitzpatrick Tarbrick, Civil Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Healy. Lindsay Marie Taro, Government Major, Basic Flight School. Ruth Ran Tian, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cyber Network Operations and Security Center. Jacqueline Jennifer Tidd, Marine and Environmental Sciences major, Coast Guard Cutter Winslow Greaser. Charles Henry Tobin, Electrical Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter Weishi. Nicholas Twiviani, Management major, Georgian Coast Guard. Thomas Christian Yule, Mechanical Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter Campbell. Nicholas Daniel Urias, Mechanical Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter Laguerre. Aiden Joseph Uvani, Civil Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter Polar Star. Matthew Thomas Varney, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Basic Flight School. Megan Amanda Wadley, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering major, Coast Guard Cutter Venturous. Jonathan James Wagner, Management major, Coast Guard Cutter Reliance. Thomas Patsy Wallen, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter Mohawk. Jack Ernest Ryan Walker, Marine and Environmental Sciences major, Coast Guard Cutter Diligence. Joshua Chapman Webster, Mechanical Engineering major, Basic Flight School. Sarah June Wenzel, Government major, Coast Guard Cutter Winslow Greaser. John Cole Williams, Management major, Coast Guard Cutter Mobile Bay. Brianna Alexis Rashawn Willis, Management major, Coast Guard Cutter Northland. George Justin Wismar, Operations Research and Computer Analysis major, Coast Guard Cutter Willow. Zachary Michael Woods, Mechanical Engineering major, Basic Flight School. Abigail Lane Zielis, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter Williams Flores. Milese Joanne Yepes Burak, Electrical Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter Diligence. Ryan Cheng-Hoon Yu, Operations Research and Computer Analysis Major, Coast Guard Sector, San Francisco. Jordan Michael Idiarte, Government Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Spencer. Joseph Michael Zingarella, Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Major, Coast Guard Cutter, Tampa. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the class of 2021.
Ensign Phil Orlando, President of the Coast Guard Academy Class of 2021, please come to the podium to make a special presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to present to you this token of our appreciation.
I hope I won't need this anytime soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the alma mater and remain standing until the conclusion of the ceremony. Chaplain Kimberly Kane will now deliver the benediction.
Holy God, we ask you to send your Spirit upon our graduates today. Bless them as they go forth as officers commissioned to protect our borders and the peoples of the United States. As they stand before us now, surrounded by family and friends, help them realize the hard work and sacrifices they made will benefit themselves and everyone they encounter as officers in the United States Coast Guard. May they move on to the next chapter of their lives, meeting the challenges and adventures that lie ahead, and living the core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. Let them use these tools to make wise decisions and ensure safety of their shipmates and all those they seek to help and serve. Lord, as our Coast Guard officers go forth to face the many dangers and threats of today's troubled world, please, God, watch over them always and let them be a sign of hope and light to others in times of fear and disaster. May these new officers see themselves as peacekeepers and protectors of freedom who bring stability and order to our grateful country. Through your grace we pray. Amen. Go in peace and continue to serve always.
Ensigns of the class of 2021, you may now divest yourself of all symbols of cadet life. Platform party and presenters of commissions, please recover. Audience, remain in place until the departure of the official party, the playing of the Stars and Stripes Forever, and the recessional. New ensigns and other military members, 10 hut. Those covered, hands salute. Now, United States of America, departing. Now, Homeland Security departing.